Hey everybody, welcome on into SJGames Live. I am Jimmy, and today there's no one else in the studio, but we are not alone. We're going to go over some of the new Car Wars first wave of single player expansions that are just coming out. And we can see right. Oh, I got a couple. There we go. We didn't do this right because they make a picture. There we go.
Yeah, you got to make that cool picture.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Cool picture.
Puzzle, Jimmy, but it's not a complicated one.
Exactly. It's a three-piece puzzle. You can probably figure it out. Who you're hearing there is we have Will and Fox with us. Welcome on in.
Hello.
Hi.
They are going to help us. Well, they're going to commentary while I unbox things.
We're not going to help, though. We're definitely not here to do that.
Well, you say help unbox, but you're not really helping to unbox it because I'm doing all the work. A little difficult to do a digital unboxing of physical things.
Jimmy's the hand model.
Exactly.
We'll try to come up with things to say.
But yeah, welcome on in, everybody. I see. I don't think we've got any business ahead of time here.
Call of Cthulhu.
Is
Still going for 3 days.
Oh, okay. Well, let's call that out then. Our Choose Cthulhu campaign for books 7 through 10 is still running. You can go ahead and hop on the link that Brandon just put in chat there. Last week we did a read through of one of the first books, but this is for we're almost at 50,000, which I believe is a stretch goal.
Ooh.
We're at 49,470 right now.
Oh yeah.
And I think the four bookmarks, one for each of the new books, comes out at 50, if I remember right.
72 hours to go.
72 hours to go.
71 hours.
It's gonna end. Too much cool stuff. There we are. Stretch goals. Bookmarks hit 50,000. So those will come out very shortly if you guys back it just a little bit further. It's in Neuroad's goal. There's over 500 of you on there already. So go ahead, and if Cthulhu is your thing, go ahead and hop in there for the Choose Cthulhu, the select your own story style books. I think we did the Nameless City last week, which was fun to read through.
Super fun.
And we didn't even have to we didn't die and have to backtrack to extend the stream out. We actually successfully chose the right paths to get most of the way through it.
We never died. We couldn't do math.
Didn't have to.
We couldn't do all the math. Right. Yeah, we didn't scum. I was scum saving with all the like you do in those books, but we didn't have to actually go back to any of them.
Nice.
Okay, so what we're doing today is unboxing these 3 new single-player expansions for Car Wars. So 2 of these are Aggressive Arsenal and Tailgate Trouble. Are reprints of cards that came out in previous sets for 6th edition.
If you flip those over, Jimmy, it should tell you on the back of the box in a nice.
Oh, there we go. I didn't have to look at the website even.
Yeah. We did that on purpose so that existing players wouldn't have to hunt for that information on the internet. It's right there.
Convenient. So yeah, Aggressive Arsenal has all the 40 cards from Miniature Set 1 in there. And Tailgate Trouble has things from the Dropped Weapons pack, and the Connected Diffuser from Road Tiles, and the Offered Suspension from Playmat number 1. So those are mostly some previous packs that were in the original sets. And then Sonic Strike is all new.
Ooh.
So we'll do that one last. Keep you hanging around.
Grilled cheese.
Oh, we're gonna bury the lead.
Gotta bury the lead. Gotta make them stick around.
Yeah,
welcome on in, Howitzer Explosion Guy and Depleted Uranium Cowboy. And welcome in Neo Realms. How's it going, folks?
You don't open with a showstopper. Like you stop the show with the showstopper.
Maybe we should make them do an encore. We'll just do the first 2 boxes and then we'll sign out until the fervor of the chat requires an encore. Live music.
Yeah.
We'll just go to the ending screen and the music, and then when they
after people close the tab, moved on with their day. Like that's definitely how Twitch works. We should absolutely not do that.
Exactly.
Maybe show the people what they came here to see.
You're the expert.
I'm very interested in this whole cheese situation, grilled or otherwise.
There's a grilled cheese sandwich in this somewhere.
But first,
Aggressive Arsenal, because it's the first one alphabetically. and I grabbed it. So we
Aggressive
got
Arsenal is also the one with the smallest rule sheet.
It is. This is the whole rule sheet right here?
Yep, it's just a card list. This one doesn't include any concepts that aren't in the basic rules of Car Wars. So the card sheet is just for credits and a list of cards, so you can make sure you got everything and you didn't get a mispack, basically.
Always appreciated whenever I'm doing a tabletop game of just like, how many pawns am I supposed to have? So I appreciate a card list.
The other thing that's different about these sets that is new for Car Wars 6th edition is that these sets are single player sets, which means there is one player's worth of cards in these compared to what we were putting in previous sets, which was we were doing 4 players worth of cards in every set previously. That was from some feedback we got from retailers and fans. So these are now designed to be like, hey, pick these up if you want to play with them. The backs are gray, not red, green, blue, yellow, purple, orange. So you can use them with whatever set you're particularly using.
Yeah. So you can buy stuff kind of piecemeal and drop them into whatever situation you need of like, hey, I don't necessarily need to buy like 3 copies of this card. I just need this for when I'm doing stuff, or
I don't need all 4.
Or maybe you got some weird scenario. Who knows?
Yeah. And the starters will stay in player colors because it's easier to break open the starter with you and a new friend and just say, you take all the purple stuff, I'll take all the orange stuff. But you don't need to do that as much when you dig deeper into Car Wars.
There's no actual rules reason that they have to have the certain colored backs.
Right. It's just
very convenient.
If you're looking for enough cards for a couple of people to play, a few of these sets will be enough. If you want to make sure that if every player wants to take the exact same card, you will need 1 copy of each of these sets for each player. But if it's just you and a couple of friends mixing and matching and not necessarily doubling up on a lot of cards, then getting 1 or 2 of these and tossing it in with your Car Wars stuff. Yeah. The other big thing we wanted to do was that we wanted to make sure that players that were new to groups, right? If you have 6 or 7 existing friends already playing Car Wars and you jump in at the current moment, you don't have to buy 4 players worth of stuff to have your own sets of Car Wars cards. You can just buy 1 of each of these, and it will give you as much as your friends who kickstarted the game have for their car building options.
Right.
Love equity.
There we go. Okay. So, any questions? A Choo Choo Choose Cthulhu, great artwork. Yeah, it is a really good, nice piece of artwork across all the sets. The artist for that is I just was putting it on the site, so I'll look there.
I do love a panorama.
I think it's the same artist that did the new purple orange cover, and it should be on the rules.
It should be on the rules. Cover art by Kurt Miller.
Yeah. And there are 3 waves of Tuck Box expansions. So this is wave 1, then we'll do wave 2, and then we'll do wave 3. Each of those does have a panorama art piece. So wave 2 is 3 boxes, and wave 3 is 4 boxes. So all 4 boxes in wave 3 make a piece of art. And they're all different styles. This one is all kind of hyper neon colors. The wave 2, people have seen that because it's up for pre-order. That's a top-down piece of art showing the cars like shooting weapons at each other. And then wave 3 is like cars coming at you down the road. So we mix it up so that each set you can kind of tell what wave it came out in, but that's the only thing the art is really cohesive about, is just to make it more fun to set them on the shelf together to show a big piece of art.
I appreciate that the last set is just aggressively looking to be bought, possibly by extorting you at the barrel of a gun. But hey, you know, I mean,
yeah.
The AADA doesn't have any rules about it. It's fine.
It's happening in the wastelands. There are no rules out there.
Boxes are bigger than you thought. We're expecting much expansion size. Well, it's got to fit 2 of these, and we want enough shelf presence for them to be seen. Let's see.
Also, some of them have token sheets in them, and we wanted them to all be the same size.
Yeah.
All the boxes. So the ones with
tailgate
token sheets, like Tailgate Trouble, the boxes would have had to be bigger, and we didn't want to have 2 different sizes of boxes for people to try to figure out how to shelve.
So that they're always all going to be together when we shelve them. So the first up cards we've got I pulled are the structure cards that are in this set. So you get 4 of each of these.
Ooh, cladding.
And yeah, so we've got the plastic cladding, which is a 2-cost structure. And when attacked on this side, you add 1 blue die to your defense roll. And it can soak 1 point of damage.
Yeah, when you're buying structure for your car, you're either generally buying extra hit points or you're buying extra defense dice. And as you go up in points, the number of those or the quality of the dice goes up. So if you see a card that has a ton of hit points, it generally won't give you any dice, or its dice will be bad. And if it has a really, really good dice, it'll have only a few hit points.
Right.
The idea there is that those dice are blocking the damage. And so if the card doesn't ever get hurt, you're getting a lot of benefit out of those dice.
Always roll well. Have
Yeah.
infinite hit points.
Roll good.
Just roll good.
Just roll
Every
good.
game is way easier to win if you just roll good.
Just roll good.
Yeah.
See
Come
you
on
later,
now.
depleted uranium cowboy. We'll catch you on the rewatch. See, we got the plastic cladding first, and then next up, also 2 cost, is a little bit more the other end of the spectrum. It's about halfway. It's a carbon laminate, which is a 2 cost, and when attacking the side, add 1 black die to your defense roll, but soaks 3 points of damage. So yeah, 1 black die. So a blue die is 50-50. Shields, and a black die has 1 in 6 shields.
Yeah.
But it can soak more damage if it does get through. And then if we go up to
Also worth
3
noting,
point
too, that
cost, go ahead.
You get to keep those dice even if you're out of control, which is the other really nice thing about those. Is it
That-
means you always have some defense dice as long as those are kicking around. So
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
big fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the dice because they will, the laminate is going to definitely soak 3 points and maybe prevent some from getting through. But that plastic cladding may prevent, if you roll well, prevent a lot more from getting through. And because it's defensive, you can use it is a defense roll that's happening. So you can use your defensive rerolls on it.
Yep.
Making it even
Oh, right. Yeah. That was the other
better.
big thing, too. Yes.
Yeah, if you have
Sitting on
ace
the-
tokens, you can spend them on those defense rerolls.
That's also, Jimmie doesn't know it yet, but that's a tease of how sonic weapons work that we'll get to
Ooh.
eventually.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to see those yet.
Yeah.
You get the trade off between high variance and low variance. Yep. Low variance can be better or worse. Yeah, it all depends on your stuff. Yep.
Yeah. Do you like to gamble? Yes, no.
Dice game?
Let's go
or no
gambling.
dice game?
Yeah.
Because that next card, the heavy ceramic plate, is my style. I like to just buy beef for the
Yeah.
sides of my car
Guaranteed.
because the dice don't always like me, but
Yeah.
just having a bigger number means that the insides of my car will survive longer.
Yeah. And what class level of cars are these practical? It depends on, like, you want to have enough offense, but heavy ceramic plate is 3. So if you want to drop that, even if you drop 1 of those on the front of your car, that's 6 damage the front of your car is going to soak. If you do 3,
That's-
1, 1, 1, that's still only 6 points of armor or 6 points of structure that you're adding. And that leaves, even a 12-point build, you still got half your build for weapons at that point.
It's one of the other important concepts in the flexibility of cars in Car Wars 6th Edition. You don't have to put 4 heavy ceramic plates on your car, right? You can only have 1
Right.
structure per side. But if you want to, like, if you have a targeting computer and other accessories on the back of your car that you want to make sure stay safe,
Yeah.
then putting that heavy ceramic plate back there just to have tons of hit points that will keep that computer alive, and then maybe not putting structure anywhere else on your car is a completely valid way to build your car. It just depends on the kind of car you want to build, and if you want to build more defensively or more offensively, or like a little bit. Like, I usually try to put my best structure card on my best weapon side. So if I only have like 1 big weapon on the right side of my car, I put a structure there to try to keep that weapon alive as long as it possibly can be throughout the game.
Alternately,
Yep.
put it on the front of the car, hit people with the car.
Yeah, because structure
and buy you an extra
also-
ram or 2. Yeah.
Structure also absorbs damage when you ram people. So if you hit someone without structure on the side of their car, that damage is probably going to go internal, whereas it's, unless you roll ridiculously good, which I've seen people roll 5 yellow dice and get a 9. So, right, it's possible to roll really high on those collisions, and that would eat this entire ceramic heavy plate. But the odds
they're probably
are
gonna be
that
worse off
that
than
won't
you are.
happen. Yes.
Yeah, you can't account for acts of God at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hiding a laser between a big structure. Yep. And then, of course, the last one there is the ablative cladding. This is going back more towards the middle again, just a little bit. Only 4 points of structure there, but when attacked, you had 2 black dice to your defense roll.
Mm-hmm.
So a little step down, but a few more chances to soak before it gets through to those points. A lot of times for me, I'm probably only going to go as far as that. I still want some of the dice that I can roll and re-roll and have that potential buffer that's not specifically just the hit points there.
Yeah.
So those are our structure cards for this set, and you're getting 4 of each of those. So what do we have next? We've got
What are next?
next. Well, let's do accessories. Let's do upgrades and then accessories. So upgrades. We've got 3 of them. Uh-oh.
We lost box.
Oh no, my
Fox
camera.
turned
Your
into a green
camera.
cube.
Oh,
There we go.
Am I back?
You're
Yeah,
back.
you're back.
Okay.
We
That's
we
weird.
got green
That
screen
happened
for
on
that.
my end, and
We're
I don't
just
even know what I did to fix it.
looking
I
pretty
started to move
green.
to fix it, and then it fixed itself. So I think I'll just keep watching you, camera.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we've got some upgrade cards.
Ooh.
So bumper spikes. So again, this is a frame upgrade. When the front or rear of your car touches a heavy obstacle or wall, that obstacle takes 1 extra damage, collision damage there. Oh, I rotated that the wrong way. Hang on.
I very rarely put that on the back of my car, but I love that you're allowed to.
Well,
It's
it
my
goes
favorite thing.
on the frame, so it doesn't. It's always on the front or rear of your car.
Oh,
all
that's
the
right.
time.
It's a frame upgrade. My bad.
Yeah.
Still funny to me.
My favorite thing about that card is it's both offense and defense,
Mm.
right? You don't have to be initiating that contact with you being the rammer for the other car to take that. So it's a good deterrent to put on your car. If people are going to try to ram you to take something important off your car, then they're going to get hit back a little bit for that.
Yeah, and because it is a frame upgrade, remember all these upgrades are restricted by type. You don't have one of any given type. So
Mhm.
if you take that, you're not taking, I believe, like the safety cage or
Yep.
a couple other ones that are available. That a lot of them have to do with running into things or being run
Yeah,
into.
frame generally means ramming. So you can put the ram plate structure on the front of your car and the bumper spikes, but you can't also have the safety cage and some of the other things like that that are ram modifiers and multipliers.
Do you want to be
Mutually
protected from
exclusive.
RAM, or do you want to do a better RAM?
Uh-huh.
The answer is
Yeah.
do a better RAM every time.
I don't know. I like the protection when it works.
Yeah.
It's dice rolling, so dice rolling.
I just want to hurt people. I don't know.
Next up, we have 2 different wheel upgrades. So again, mutually exclusive, but one is the airless tires. Tire damage does not affect your maximum speed. I'm a fan of those, sometimes to my detriment with Possum.
Yep. Those are my
but,
favorite tires.
Yep.
Those are fun. Doesn't do
They're the
anything for your
wild and
control.
crazy ones.
Doesn't
No.
help you with control at all.
Not in the slightest.
Not in the
But you
slightest.
still go vroom.
But you can still go vroom, which is helpful. It's just the turns that are a problem. And then those are both 1-point upgrades, and the last one is a 2-point wheel. Actually, the wheel hubs are not mutually exclusive. They're just an upgrade.
No, you can have those wheel hubs on top of any wheels you put on your car.
When you take tire damage, apply it to those first, and it'll take 2 damage. Those are just an additional typeless upgrade.
Yep. The airless
So-
tires were also the inspiration for one of the racing modification rules in the companion book.
Yeah.
Because I wanted racing to be about danger and speed. So effectively, everybody gets free airless tires when you do a racing scenario. Because you should be able to drive as fast as you can, regardless of the danger, because you're racing. So,
Speed Racer.
Yeah.
I've watched F1. It's fine.
Yep.
Welcome on into Wahoo. Hi, Go Shock. So yeah, those are the upgrades in this set, which is we're doing aggressive arsenal right now. Next up, we've got the accessories. Just 2.
One of my favorite accessories in this set. And unlike upgrades, for anybody who's new to Car Wars, accessories attach to a part of your car on the outside so they can get shot off.
Yeah, they go
So you have
onto
to be-
one of these facings of your car.
Yeah.
So you've got the aerodynamic fairings, which are ignore a 1 wrench when making maneuver at speed 4 or 5. Which, if you're planning on, especially if you're taking the airless tires to stay up there, ignoring bad die results from those are a good thing.
For sure.
If you're keeping that speed up. And then, one of my favorite to use is the advanced firing interface.
Oh my god.
Once per attack, you may
It's
reroll
good.
1 die.
Yep. Anytime you can re-roll a die, that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yep.
It's normally they only let you do that 1 time, and I say nuts to that noise. Let me keep re-rolling dice. And
Yeah.
this facilitates that and is easily I think one of my favorite accessories.
Yeah. Unlike the targeting computer and some other effects too, you don't have to choose your attack it's going to affect. It doesn't affect sidearm attacks, but it affects every weapon mounted on your car attack. So you don't have to be like, wait a minute, do I want to use this on my first or second attack? It just makes all your attacks better. It only has 1 hit point, so it will get ripped right off your car if you're not careful. But
And
while
people
it's
will be
there,
gunning
it's a-
for it
it's a great
if
card.
you keep re-rolling and hitting
Yep.
them with more stuff. Like, people will
you
start.
just hide
I'm
it,
going after
hide it on the back, put a structure on it. Just be careful; it'll be fine.
Put your ablative cladding back there, and you're fine.
Yeah,
What I'm hearing is
Yeah.
Will's trunk is always full of his best stuff.
it is. I put lots of stuff in that trunk.
I can't comment on that on one of these streams.
Oh,
So those are the accessories. Then we've got the weapons.
Yeah, the bulk of the cards in here, besides the fact that there are 4 copies of every structure, the bulk of this is weapons. That's why it's called
Right.
aggressive arsenal, because
And there's 2 of each of these in here, so we're just gonna put up 1. Let me load this up here.
Yep.
So we have.
and generally for a single player, you get 2 copies of every card. So if you're one of those people that really wants to put 6 javelins on your car, then that's going to determine the kind of shopping you're going to have to do in the real world to buy enough of these sets to have 6 copies of a javelin.
Right.
If these are the decisions you want to make, sure. Listen, we've all seen my win-loss record. I don't know.
Lots of things are
I'm a
possible
person.
in this version of Car Wars.
That's very
And
true.
putting 1,000,000 light rockets on your car is totally valid if that's what you want to do.
I do love that javelin.
Mm-hmm.
So we start off with the light rocket, which is our smallest one-shot weapon. It's a blast weapon. 3 dice, and you get 2 of them for 1 point. So they're nice little just extra shots to throw somewhere. Useful because that's not a bad die mix. A yellow, green, and a blue is a pretty decent shot for 1 point.
For its cost, it's potent.
Yeah, they hit
Yeah,
way
for half a
harder than a
point.
1-point weapon because they can die before you shoot them.
Yeah.
So-
Lately, I've been trying to take them more because I tend to look at that like, oh, it's got ammo. Why would I ever? And it's like, games only last so long. And if
Yeah.
they're dead, then it don't matter how long the game goes. So I've been trying to use them more.
Fire
And-
rockets early and as often as you can.
Yes.
Or you do something like I don't often put a lot of weaponry on the back of my car because usually I don't have people chasing me too much. But throw a couple of those back there as just the occasional discouraging shot to make people get off your tail.
True.
There's also a weird way to use them,
Yeah.
which will appear in Gonzo Gear, which we will talk about at a future date. When a damage card says weapon, right? If you get hit internally and you draw a card and it says weapon, take a damage, you get to choose what that weapon is. So if you have a really, really important weapon on your car, for 1 single point, you can buy 2 cards that have the word weapon on them and put them wherever you want.
True.
So the rockets
True.
can be considered, and other cheap weapons can be considered armor for weapons that you
Well-
consider more important.
For bigger weapons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that you get 2 of these for 1 point, as opposed to normally a 1-point weapon, you get 1 copy of that card. So these can be a little bit of a blade of armor on top of another weapon if that's how you want to use them. I wouldn't use them that way necessarily, but it's an option for 1 point because maybe at the end of your build you're down and you're like, well, I have 1 point left. What am I going to use it on? Just put a couple of light rockets on your car. They'll probably work out.
I am enjoying the sort of mental flavor of like, no, don't hit my machine gun. Here, I'll put this rocket in front of the bullets.
Hey, it works.
No,
That's
the way auto duelists think, dude.
Yeah.
Like they're those kinds of people, man.
And
Spicy component armor.
Yeah, basically.
When me and Sam and Randy were sitting around brainstorming these cards, what eventually became Sonic Strike and Gonzo Gear, we were like, what weird things haven't we done in the rules yet? And a thing to just block damage for your other weapons is what I was talking about. It's in Gonzo Gear. We'll talk about it later. In the future. It'll be fun. Okay.
Yeah, also rockets are good for firing at the guy who has 1 control left.
Very true, because they are explosions.
All right, next up we have the Pepper Mill, which is a range 2, so short range, 1 guaranteed damage, a red and a white die, and ranges do tire damage. So that's not insignificant. 1 guaranteed, and you could get as high as 4 on that, I think, because the white has doubles on it.
White's got a double damage on it.
And since white has 2 wrenches and red has a single wrench, you have a pretty good chance of getting that tire damage with that roll.
Yep.
Don't ask me what the odds are. I don't do that kind of thing. But
you're not the math guy
or
designated number dude.
I'm not the mathematician. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I shan't.
Good solid. Get too close, I'll shoot your tires off.
Yeah.
And then next up, one of my favorite low cost ones is the Javelin. 2 points, 2 damage, 50-50 chance you'll do 3 damage. Just a reliable slug for 2 points to throw on there.
Just hit him. Yeah, I'm willing to be loosey-goosey on my defense, but for my offense, like, I want guarantees. Every time I pull the trigger, do 2 damage. I love it.
Yeah, the trade-off with those slug weapons is less dice and generally a lower maximum number, right?
Yeah, they tend to, like, fall below curve for their cost, but it's consistent.
Yeah. You're going to get much closer to that average, because when we look at the points cost of a weapon, we consider its average damage and its max damage, but we look at the average more, right? Because the average is going to happen significantly more times. So that weapon is right on its average, but it doesn't jump as high as other 1-point weapons might do because it doesn't have as many dice to roll.
Yep. But and also the slug weapons don't have effects on wrench results. So those results just not going to come up. But you're only rolling 1 die on this one, and it doesn't have any wrenches on it in the first place.
Yep.
So this is for low cost consistent stuff. I like to have those as a backup shot, especially once you add in like the targeting computer or the crew members that add extra dice to it, because then you can I'm getting my spike from my crew member or my accessories, not from the weapon itself.
Yeah, and there's a crew member that adds a blue die to every attack. The computer adds a blue die. That targeting interface we talked about earlier re-rolls those dice, and the blue dice are a 50-50. So there's ways to pump up these slug weapons. But even without all that other stuff, they're just consistent damage.
Yeah.
They're not exciting, but they get the job done.
Yeah.
And then lastly, or for this round, we've got the scatter gun, which is a 3-cost weapon. Again, it's a shred, but it's a shred with a built-in damage, which is not that common. And then a red, a green, and a white. Again, with that green or that wrench doing tire damage, so you can again get 4 shred on that one as a max.
Yep.
And this is again a range 2, so slightly more effective at the cost, but with the range limit on there.
Yeah, and this one spikes all the way to 6 damage if you roll all the doubles that are available on the green and the white.
2, 4. Yep.
By contrast, a very exciting weapon, but
and these two shred weapons are secretly the other theme inside of shred weapons, because shred weapons are usually a machine gun or a shotgun. So
Right.
these are the shotgun side. They have a very limited range. They have a big spread of whatever that comes out of them, and it will mess your tires up. But there isn't a secondary, tertiary like keyword. It's just the range 2
That-
shred weapons tend to be throwing out a bunch of small attacks instead of one like stream of bullets like a machine gun would do.
And that built-in damage point is to kind of represent that wide shotgun burst. Like you're probably going to take
Yep.
some from it regardless, because
And it's to help pay. It's to help pay for that range too, right? There are going to be a lot of times in the game where you're not within range 2 of anybody.
Yeah.
So these weapons also hit a little bit better than a 1-point shred weapon that isn't limited to range 2. It's not a significant, massive jump, but they are more powerful because you have to get close to use them, and you might not be able to use them every single round of the game.
There's few field bads quite as brutal as, well, I guess this is the round I don't do any shooting. Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's a big gamble to take all flame weapons and all short-range shred weapons, because there will be times where you'll just be shooting your hand cannon out the window because that's the only option you have, because everybody is 3 car lengths or more away.
And that is why you take the tires that let you go fast no matter the state of your tires.
There
You're
is
never
that.
far away from something.
Yep, that's an option.
Again, please don't look at my win-loss record on stream.
No one's keeping track of the stats, as far as I know.
Thank God.
Someone out there is keeping track of the stats.
Please don't. I don't need to know that.
All right. For the last cards in this set, we've got the last 4 weapons here. We're staying at point 3 for a bit for the and close range, 1 range, the bone saw. For 3 points, 2 built-in damage, and a green and a white, and wrenches do more damage. So that is again a 2, 4, 6 max damage card, but 2 guaranteed damage card.
Yeah, you could say that bone saw is ready to do damage.
I was waiting. I was trying to figure out, like, should I wait for him to do it? Should I turn
did-
green briefly? That was weird.
You didn't jump right on the joke, so I decided to try it out. I didn't do the voice though. And I'm going to keep hinting and teasing as much as I possibly can. If you're a big fan of melee weapons on cars, Gonzo Gear is an expansion that puts out a lot more weapons that are range 1, so they hit a lot harder than they would normally for their cost. And they're melee weapons.
I'm looking forward to my car scale nunchaku then.
Well, there are a couple of wrecking balls in there and a chainsaw that lights things on fire. So,
but we'll get to that later. We got 3 sets to get through today, though. So next up, we have the pulse laser. So our first laser of the set. This is for the non-close range stuff.
Yep.
So as with all lasers, the defender gets 2 fewer range increment rerolls. And you got 2 consistent damage, a red and 2 yellow, and wrenches are fire. And with all lasers, it is a 1 point. It can only take 1 hit before it goes away because it is fragile.
Yep. And the other theme to lasers is that fire's usually not very common, right? There's only 1 wrench on that red die.
Yeah.
So you only have a 1 in 6 chance of the fire getting lit. So they're not flame weapons like a flamethrower would be that could cause multiple fire like triggering effects on the dice. But it's always an option that you might get lit on fire by that laser from all the way across the board.
Yep. And then we've got 2 that you can only use when you get up to the 25-point higher builds. The Anvil, a 7-cost slug weapon, which is just the big brother of the Javelin. It just does 4 damage, and a yellow. Because these big weapons are very commonly have these restrictions that these 2 do, which is front or back only. You cannot shoot these out the side, or you'll flip your car.
Yep.
Just kind of
So
awkwardly like tipping over to the side.
Exactly. And then you go up 1 more point, and you get the Dreadnought, which is 4 points with a blue and a white. So you can do 6, could be spike up to 7 damage on that.
Yeah. Absolutely positively need something dead.
That's also the top of the scale when it comes to weapons. 8 is the most expensive a weapon gets so far, as of now, in Car Wars.
Ooh.
I'm not necessarily teasing things. I'm just saying that there's
Where are
never
you?
there's never a guarantee in any kind of game as you develop things. Things could go bigger.
You heard it here first. 10-point weapons coming in the next box we're gonna look at.
45-point weapons.
That's a
someday.
big
Okay.
car.
Yeah.
And there are a
Or a small
few
car with a big gun.
terrain cards in this set as well. Or terrain and obstacle cards. They are what you see here. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, to fill out these sets so they would be even numbers, we didn't want to put in cards that were part of other sets, just in case people were searching for individual cards they haven't gotten in the past or whatever. So we just filled them out with some hazard and terrain cards that didn't necessarily appear in the core set and that kind of stuff.
I was going to say this. I've never played with like icy roads before. That's cool.
And then these also have you can do the obstacle rather than the terrain version of them.
Ah.
Which is the other side is, hey, this part of the map or this area of the map, this color has this effect. These are this patch the size of this card, this hazard has this effect.
Mm-hmm. And you can put a hazard on a terrain type, so you could have icy, jagged rocks if you really wanted to.
Right.
Huh. I do not want to, but it's good to know I have the option.
Yeah. I wouldn't suggest like large swaths of the board being icy, jagged rocks, but maybe a couple of spots here and there for people to dodge around.
So that is Aggressive Arsenal. And we're going to go ahead and do Tailgate Trouble next.
If I might ask, what is the MSRP on these lovely expansion packs? I don't know that we've mentioned that yet.
So Aggressive Arsenal is $10.95.
Okay.
Sonic Strike is $10.95, and Tailgate Trouble is $12.95. And you'll see shortly why, because in addition to the cards it comes with,
Yes.
we also have
Additional cardboard.
some foam tokens, some mines, the slab.
The slab. Everyone
So
loves
three
the slab.
sheets
Wow.
of tokens in addition to the cards. Slightly bigger rule sheet to give you the information on dropped weapons. Still only one single sheet here.
Yep. So this reprints the dropped weapon rules with a bit of a twist.
Oh, does
We
it have
updated.
Is it the
we
new
updated-
rule on drop weapons?
Yes. We updated the drop weapon rules to make drop weapons not work like other weapons. You don't fire them during the combat step. You pop them off during the movement, and you can use one drop weapon after every movement point you spend. So you can't use 3 mine layers all at the same time. But if you have 3 mine layers, you can move, drop one out your right, move, drop one out your left, move, drop one off the tail.
and they only fire during the movement phase.
Yes, you cannot fire them off during the combat phase, and they don't count as an attack. So they're not taking your shots during the combat phase.
Yeah.
They're just a bonus little thing you can do to make the arena a little bit more complicated for other players.
Yeah.
Yeah, through further testing and feedback with the public playing the game for real, we realized that the original rule of using them during the combat phase was maybe a little bit more restrictive than it needed to be. And we put a kind of playtest version in the companion book and then decided to make that the new permanent rule. And you should be able to grab this PDF off of SJGames.com. I think carwars.sjgames.com, right, Jimmie?
Correct.
So you can find this rulebook PDF so that if you have every single Car Wars card ever published before this, you can grab that PDF to get that new rule without having to run out and buy this if you don't need these cards.
When someone in charge of the line emails me the PDF, it'll go on the Tailgate Trouble page.
Probably because these are still up for pre-order, right?
These are still pre-ordered.
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be closer to their street date.
The weapons themselves are not inherently changing, just the way in which you employ them, which is
Right.
great. Just,
the other thing this set
really
has
email
in
me
it is the original. I will. the original status card. The paint status card is in this set. There are two
Yes.
new status cards in these waves. We're going to talk about one of them next. But paint is in here, so it's not just drop weapons. There's also a way to cover the windows of your opponents with paint, so it's harder for them to shoot you.
All right, so getting to we'll start with the non-weapon cards here, because this is mostly weapons. But we've got a few things that are not in this set. We have a structure, an upgrade, two structures, an
Something
upgrade,
borrowed and something blue.
and an accessory.
Slab.
So, yes, we have the slab. But first we have the kinetic diffuser, which is you get 4 of these. It is a structure card. When attacked on the side, add a green die to your defense roll. And soaks 7 damage. So this
And
is
most importantly, for that card,
yeah,
it's one of the cards that appeared in the playmat or the road tiles, right? The back of the box says
the
and
road
the
tiles.
Playmat, I
Yep.
believe.
Road tiles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
road tiles are playmat 1.
Yeah, so
I think that was playmat 1.
if you've never gotten a hold of that playmat or the road tile sets, there were a few cards in there, and some of those cards, the ones that attach to cars, are in these various expansion packs.
Yep. So if you were not going in for playmats before or playing surfaces, you may not have that card already. So a chance to get it here. Next up, we have the slab.
The
So
slab.
take the slab token. And you equip it to one side of your card. It does count as structure on that side. It does soak 5 damage. Sorry, you attach to the back of your card because it's back only.
Yeah, it's back
Don't
only.
drop the slab in front of you. Whatever you do.
Be bad. Be bad.
Cannot recommend.
And then
Or rear
at any
use
point,
only.
you may drop your slab token behind your car and flip this face down after any movement point. And then you just drop out this token right here, which is
Okay.
pretty much the size of a car.
The slab.
And it is
Yep.
a wall, provides partial cover, and can take 5 damage before it is gone. And that is just it's a wall, so it cannot get pushed. So if you hit it, you're going to bounce off of it like a wall.
You
like
lose
was
to the
in
slab
Derby.
when you hit the slab.
You do.
Yeah.
Trust
So
me,
good.
you do. Hunter finally fired it, and I definitely lost to the slab when he did. I didn't think he was ever going to do
Yeah.
it. I thought he was all talk. But you guys can go watch the stream where he did.
You got slabbed.
I did.
Yeah, most importantly, you can shoot the slab off of someone's car, right? If you do all 5 of the damage, it dies, the
It's
card
gone.
goes away.
I've seen
But-
it happen.
If you drop the slab, it doesn't maintain the amount of damage on the card because it's a brand new thing. So
Yeah, so if your slab's at taking 4 damage, pop it off of there.
yeah, drop it and just let it be a wall that hopefully you won't run into.
Try not to
anytime-
grab yourself.
The core rule, unspoken metagame rule behind this entire set is these things can hurt you too, because they
Oh.
don't belong to you once they're laying in the arena. You drop a mine, you can run into that mine. It's a thing. So be wary of all these things as you're using them because they might come back and get you if you're not careful.
Chad
Floating
does point out
hazards
something
have no load.
important about dropping the slab, is that the slab drops behind you. There we go.
Yeah.
The slab
Vertically.
drops behind you in line with the car,
Right.
not across the car.
Yep.
So it's going to drop like that.
Unless, of course, you house rule it, because I can't come to your house and stop you from
Well,
doing
sure.
whatever you want. But
Or
You can
can
house
you?
or anything, but
As-
by the rules, it drops in line with the car.
as the diagram shows in this set, there are specific ways to place mines and cards and tokens, and they're all codified in that rule set.
All right, after the slab, we have the punch bumper.
Punch bump.
Love the pump.
So this is a frame upgrade. So this is one of the other options for running into things. When the front or rear of your car touches a heavy obstacle or a wall, an explosion occurs on that obstacle on the side that is touching your car before resolving collision damage. So if you run into someone or someone runs into you, that explosion result, they're going to lose an extra control from.
Yep.
So if they're already going to lose one for running into you, so that's 2 controls. So you will have an easier time of ramming people out of control, or if they run into you on the front or back, higher chance of running out of control when they hit you.
Yeah, this is another one of those offense and defense options, right? If you want to make sure that people are scared to run into you, the punch bumper all by itself will deter some people because they won't be running with enough control to risk losing 2 when they hit you.
Right. And then lastly, we've got the accessory, which is the off-road suspension. When your car is overlapping one or higher difficulty terrain, or you're out of control, or both conditions are true, you add a yellow die to your defensive rolls. So if you're playing on a very off-road map, this is a really good 1-point upgrade to your car. You just get an extra yellow die. It's like a free going one speed faster.
Yeah.
Jimmie, have you ever tried airless tires, possum, and this card?
Possibly.
Because it does say out of control also. So right, so you don't
Yeah.
you can be playing in a parking lot with everything being 0 level terrain, and this will still trigger when you're out of control, which will give you 1 yellow die.
One
and
yellow
if you've
die.
still got structure and other things giving you dice, you'll still have dice to defend yourself.
Yep. So if you like to just be out of control, possum can still steer a little bit and gives you a black die, and this would give you a yellow die. If you've taken the dice structure cards, you could have 3, 4. You probably have like 3 dice, and maybe another accessory might let you. So 3 to 4 dice, even when you're out of control.
Yep.
Until those
definitely
things
been
start going
sleeping
away.
on that.
Yeah, everybody thinks about it as I need terrain for this card to work, but it's
you don't.
It's
You don't
functional
need it,
when
but
you're out of control as well.
A lot of time you are going slower when you're going off terrain, so this helps bring you back up to the speed you'd normally be considered to be going at. All right, then
what we like to drive like a maniac.
Just that too. Then we got a
Everybody
bunch
likes
of
to drive like a maniac.
1-cost
Here for a good time, not a long time. It's Car Wars, man.
drop weapons. We'll start with these. So you have the foam nozzle, which drops these car-sized foam tokens, which are light and provide full cover and have no line of sight. Full cover.
You can totally hide behind foam.
Yep.
You can't. It won't stop a car from driving around because it's a light obstacle. It'll just get pushed around, right? It's just bubbles.
Yep.
But it does completely block line of sight.
And since
so
you can drop them as you move, you
hide
can
behind it.
effectively make a pretty long barrier or several smaller barriers that just block line of sight. So if you've got a laser, if you're going up against someone who takes lasers all the time, that foam dropper will reduce a lot of his options really quickly.
Yep. Now, always keep in mind, it goes both ways. You can't see through it either. But
true.
If you're building a build that relies on short range weaponry and stuff, so you want to get close to people, and you find yourself too far away, then drop some foam, and maybe they won't be able to shoot you until you can get next turn back around and close to them.
Make them come to you.
These bubbles are masters of their own destiny.
Exactly. We've got 2 cards. We've got a fire mine dropper and a concussion mine dropper, which just drop different types of mines. All of these are going to get 4 tokens to drop with. And they are just 2 different sides of the mine token here. That is the fire side, and that is the concussion side. The damage is what's on those cards. So the fire tokens have a control, 2 damage, and a fire on them. The concussion have 2 control and 2 damage on them. So if someone hits them, that's what they're going to take. And then lastly, we have the oil jets, which will drop. You take 4 oil cards, which drop these hazard cards here. This is the oil side of the card. That is a drive over obstacle that does not block line of sight. And if when your car is overlapping this card and you make a driving roll, so anytime at the end of a movement point, you add 2 skids to the result of that roll. So just 2 free skid results added to their roll if they have to make a driving roll while they're overlapping the card. So at any point, at the end of any movement point that they're on that card, they're gonna have to make a roll and lose those.
Which 2 doesn't sound like a huge number. That's gigantic. That is so much control.
And you can't do anything to mitigate it
No.
with things that let you re-roll dice when you're driving or whatever, because they're not dice, they're results.
It just
dice.
adds 2
Once you
results.
guys release a
There
lot.
are, I think, one crew member allows you to remove results, or it could be dice.
So there are various rules in the game that let you ignore a shield or ignore a wrench.
There you go.
But some of them let you remove dice from results. So just it depends on if it's showing the icon or if it's showing for the result or if it's showing a color for the die.
I once dropped a foam behind me, did 2 90-degree D4 turns back to back to whip back around behind it, and it blocked at least 3 shots for that turn. Perfect use of the foam dropper.
Heck yeah,
Or
bring a
foam
bubble to a
monster.
gunfight.
Of course, you can also go out of control real fast doing that many D4s.
Well, sure, details.
But they didn't, so it was fine.
It worked,
Hey, man,
so it was
they
obviously
passed the
the best
foam
plan
academy.
ever.
Yeah.
All right, we have 4 more weapons in this set. And of note, all these 1-point weapons, you get 1 of these. These are not weapons we give you 2 of.
Yeah.
So we have the smoke emitter. You take 4 smoke cards, and you can drop smoke cards, which is the opposite side of the oil cards. Which you do get 2, 3, 4, 8 of these cards. These are drive over, partial cover, and just a hazard. So all they just provide partial cover. So a way to drop out smaller things you can drive over and not push around. Then you have the spike dropper, also 1 cost. You drop spike cards. These are some of my favorites. I like to put the spike dropper on my car because this is a hazard that it drops, drive over, no line of sight blockage, so it's full line of sight. But it adds 2 black dice to the maneuvering roll. So if they have to make a maneuvering roll on this, where they're overlapping this card, they're going to roll 2 black dice, which are 1 damage, 4 wrenches, and 1 shield. So
there are 5 bad results for a driving.
There are 5 bad results. 1 control and 4 tire damage results on each of those dice if they overlap.
On a good day, you just lose a control. You're probably losing some tire.
Yeah, and you get to drop 4 of those in the arena. Though that really makes people avoid that spot, even if they don't drive over it.
Yep.
It's a big deterrent, and for a lot of these drop weapons. But this is one of my favorite ones
key
because it's
about drop
card
weapons.
sized, and they'll go somewhere else.
A mine that never goes off still affects what's happening on the field, and
Yep.
that can be gigantic in terms of how you're positioning people.
Yeah, a lot of these are pro positioning.
And if you want to get the most fun out of this set, then play with a little bit of other terrain, right? Like a house in the middle of the board, or a scenario that
barriers.
requires people to drive over certain areas, right? There in the companion book, there's multiple scenarios that are like drive over a scenario card to do a thing. If you can drive over that scenario card and drop a mine as you're driving over it, then that means everybody else that wants to drive over that has to avoid or hit your mine. So if you're playing in a big open parking lot, these drop weapons have less of an impact. But if you're playing in we all got to drive through this obstacle course, then your drop weapons are doing a lot more to affect other drivers.
Or an already limited space, you can limit further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's natural choke points.
Yep.
All right, last two we've got here. We have the grape shot cannon. So this is a big 7-point cost shred weapon. So it's front or back only. It's range 2, but it does 3 red dice, 2 yellow dice, a black die, a white die, and ranges do tire damage. This is just a ton of shrapnel.
This thing can roll a 10 for damage.
Yeah.
If you roll good, because there's multiple doubles on multiple dice on that set. So
yeah,
it is the big gun when it comes to those range 2 shred weapons. But if you can land a hit on it with the front or back of your vehicle at that limited range, you're going to be doing damage.
Yep.
Possibly ripping people's tires almost all the way off.
One build point is so low that a
winches
mine
you roll.
dropper doesn't have to do much to earn its keep. One mine causes one of your opponents to turn and forgo a 2 damage shot against you only once, and the whole mine dropper is paid for its rent. Yep, pretty much.
Yep.
And lastly, we've got a sidearm on here, the paint grenades, which are up until a couple minutes from now, are the only status card we have in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
They're the original status card.
I love these
You
things.
apply a paint card to one side of an opponent's car. Let's drop it right here.
And the paint grenades still do damage, right? These are not paintball
Yeah.
Right.
guns that don't do anything. They
They
still
still
roll dice.
explode.
Yeah, they're still an explosive that can hurt the car you're throwing them at.
Yeah.
But they also have, instead of lighting on fire or causing an explosion, they might cover you in paint.
Yep. Which is great. Before making an attack, you may pay 1 ace token to roll 1 black die. On a wrench, you return this card to supply. So 2/3 of the time, you pay an ace token, you can wipe off the paint. But 1/3 of the time, it's not going to happen. The defender adds 2 blue dice to their defense roll when attacked by a weapon equipped to the painted side of the car. So if you're trying to, if someone's trying to shoot out the painted side of their car and they can't get the paint off of it, the defender gets 2 extra blue dice in defense. Because it's hard to see because it's paint all over that side of the car, the attacker's car.
Yep.
Offloading your defensiveness to someone else. Now it's your problem. You deal with it.
And you're rolling black, so it's more than likely going to come off. But
Yeah,
you
it's a
have to
4 and
pay
6
an
that's
ace
good.
for it. Yeah, you have to pay an ace, so it's costing them something.
thing.
And 1 in 3 of those times, it won't work.
Yep.
So
you'll have to pay another ace or
yeah,
take the shot like it is.
So you're draining resources regardless, which feels pretty good to me.
yeah.
In addition to doing damage.
Chat
Yeah, that's the other thing that feels good to me is that black star. I love it.
That was
And it
you
does
can
have
choose the color.
it does have some comedy value. And yeah, you thematically you can call it whatever color paint you want. Maybe it's polka dot paint. I don't know.
Can you?
Huh.
It's the future.
It's
Star
the
Wars
future.
happens in the future. So many sci-fi things could be
Yeah.
possible to allow for
Yeah.
polka.
Okay.
It's got
Maybe
nanites
it's
that
black
light
paint.
up in a polka dot pattern.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sure.
Baby gender.
Chat, you buy that, right?
revolutions.
Gender reveal parties with paint grenades. Yeah.
That sounds like a good Car Wars
Oh.
scenario.
Oh God. Don't give them any ideas.
All right, so that is our Tailgate Trouble expansion. Covering the dropped weapons pack and a couple cards from Road Tiles and playmat number 1. And that's all we have time. No. We're going to go longer than the hour today because we have Sonic Strike, which is the new cards that are going to be in this set.
All new, right?
All new cards.
All
So
new, all different.
I also want to mention the status rules are repeated in any set that has status cards in it. So the paint cards being in Tailgate Trouble means it gets the status rules. And the status rules have also been updated from their original printing because when they were originally printed, there were only side statuses, and now there are side or crew statuses. So we added the concept of crew status. The rules didn't really change. They just expanded to incorporate that brand new type of status.
Yeah. Like the scope has
Which
widened
are-
a bit so that
Right on the back of this sheet here,
Yep.
handy.
the status rules on the back of the Sonic Strike rule sheet.
Box, you got to cosplay as this character.
Listen, I'm not
Oh.
gonna say I wasn't just about to open my mouth, going like, I'm really enjoying this driver's style, like kind of a lot, actually.
Yeah.
There's a flair here that appeals to me personally.
And these sets are going to be a lot more like the Uncle Al set in that they cover various elements of your car, right? Like in the original waves of Car Wars expansion, there weren't a lot of sets that involved crew. And a lot of the crew that are getting reprinted are appearing in Wave 3 in Lethal Lineup. I believe it's in Wave 3. But there are some new crew in both this and Gonzo Gear, that other new one that's in Wave 2 that we'll talk about in the future.
Just realizing, are
Sure.
they all alliterative? Am I just now noticing that?
I tried to name them all
You are just now noticing that, yeah.
something alliterative. I think that the
appreciate it.
names of products are a little bit easier to remember if they're alliterative, and it's more fun.
Yeah, it's more fun, so that's all I care about.
It was a struggle, though, right? So Tailgate Trouble, Sonic Strike, those things were easier, but some of the ones that are just kind of generic, it was like, what 2 words? Aggressive Arsenal. What 2 words can I come up with that are the same letter and apply? So some of these are a little bit more of a stretch than others, but what are we starting with, Jimmie?
Explosives.
We're going to start with I
Good
see.
guns.
We're going to start with the new drivers.
New drivers, okay.
We got 3 new drivers.
Ooh, I have not seen this art.
I haven't either.
Yeah, the art for the new crew is pretty awesome. All of them are great.
Ah.
So we have from the rule sheet there, we're starting off with Leadfoot, a 2-point driver. At the end of your adjust speed step, you may increase your speed by 1 if possible. So in addition to the normal, in addition to the normal 1 or 2 you can go up, Leadfoot will let you go up another 1.
Yeah, without any additional stress to your engine or anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Then
if you take the super booster, you can increase by 2 without hurting yourself, and then Leadfoot can increase a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if you take the super booster and the brakes that let you go down by 2 without hurting yourself,
Yep.
Leadfoot lets you adjust your speed drastically up and down in a way that has
Thundercat
never been
battery on
possible
it as well.
before. Yeah, but the ability to jump from 1 to 4 effectively is significantly changing, and that's why Leadfoot only costs 2 points, because it's not a massive bonus, but it's a significant bonus to be able to leap up to a speed that people are not expecting you to be able to travel across the arena.
It speaks to my sensibilities for sure.
Next up, we have Burnout, a 3-point crew. Once per maneuver, you can ignore 1 wrench result.
So Burnout protects your tires. Burnout is really good at tire control, and that works at any speed.
Yeah, so he's particularly those D1 turns become no tire damage turns, because there's only 1 wrench result, unless people will have the aforementioned set out where you have all the spikes and everything on the ground, in which case
and D2 turns don't add more wrenches, so Burnout ignores that 1 wrench possible in all your D1 and D2 turns.
Oh, that's true.
It's not until you hit that red die at D3 that you have a second chance to have a wrench.
Yeah.
So Burnout's gonna protect your tires a long time, as long as you're being conservative with your maneuvers.
And then we have Turtle,
Love this
who
art.
is a 4-coster that adds 1 blue to each of your defense rolls.
Turtle's one of my favorite ideas in the new set. It's just Rhino exists previously, and Rhino is a black die, so a 1 in 6 chance.
Yep.
Turtle's just like, I can do way better than that. I have a 50-50 shot to always add 1 defense to every attack that comes at him. So
look at this giant chunky
the Noir
four.
Enigma rating in with 11 folks. Welcome on in, folks. We are currently unloading. Currently opening up and looking at. Let's go up here with it.
Unloading 2 barrels of new Car Wars.
Exactly. The opening up the new Car Wars expansion pack, single player expansion packs. We're on the third one, which is all new cards, which is Sonic Strikes. We're just getting into that one right now. Thanks for dropping by and bringing your folks over here.
Welcome.
Hi, Rachel Tensions. Yeah, we're going. This is Car Wars 6th edition. We're going over some of the new expansions for it. So Fox is someone who has play tested and played a lot with us.
I know things.
She doesn't want us to look at her record, but has played many games of Car Wars with us.
She has a record.
She has a record.
In my case, that's one.
In the game. And then Will is our Car Wars line editor and one of the design team for Car Wars. So
some of
we'll
these,
go in if you guys
some of
need
these
to go
cards are my
take
bad
breaks, go ahead and do that. We'll treat your people to some explosions and things like that while you go take care of stuff. All right, so back to our crew. We just looked at the first 3 new drivers, Leadfoot, Burnout, and Turtle. And then we've got new gunners to go for.
Ooh.
So
Right.
let's pull up those.
I've only seen like the playtest versions of a lot of these.
Yep.
So I've like all this
Yeah,
art is very exciting for
I'm
me
looking
personally.
at a lot of art here. I'm like, ooh, wait, no, you gotta
So-
present this. Stop looking at it.
Who did the art for these, Will?
I believe it was the same artist that did the illustrations for all the original.
We've got
Rick?
Sam, Rick Hershey, and Felipe Ganoa Redet.
Oh.
Yeah,
Did
so
the art,
so
internal art.
Rick did the art for these just like the originals. So Rick has done all of the character art.
The character art. All right, so these
So the
are our
other-
new gunners.
The
So
other
go
thing
ahead,
you're
Will.
going to notice about these is existing gunners for weapon types. There was only machete and pyro. So you could only boost up flame weapons and shred weapons up until this comes out. So now we have gunners that care about sonic weapons, which is the brand new weapon type that exists in this set, and shock weapons and slug weapons. Because Tex loves a slug weapon. You know, Tex is number 1 when it comes to slug weapons.
Don't mess with
I
Texas, I
appreciate-
suppose.
I don't know how those horns fit inside the car, but that's Texas' problem, not mine.
Same way Turtle fits inside the car.
Uh-huh.
I'm just
Very
saying, right? Like his shoulders and Turtle shoulders and that helmet, right?
Yep.
Move
All right,
over.
so-
You move over. Who cares?
But
All that matters is that bird helmet. That's all I want to talk about. That's all I want to live.
Bird
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 helmet.
helmet.
Look, I do appreciate that we
That's
went with Bird and Siren as the Sonic character.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
it was. I mean, you got to name the Sonic character Siren, and what screeches better than a weird bird?
I love the bird helmet so much.
So when the
It's
guy
also
takes it,
got-
So obnoxious and so dangerous.
Yeah,
It's great. It's so good.
so these are all 2
I love
costers because they're all just variants on buff one damage type.
Yep.
So
Specialize your weapon.
Siren for Sonic, Striker, who's got a cool like Tron looking or Mass Effect looking character there for Shock, and Tex for Slug.
Freaking Tex. Oh my god.
How can you tell SJG is
Oh.
based in Austin? Yeah.
yeah.
We probably didn't have to go too far for some of that design. You're right.
No, just look outside, honestly. The 4 extra stars have me a little worried, but then there's a lot of auto dueling lore I'm not privy to, so
1 star's good, 5 stars is better. I think. I don't know.
I guess
Stars
that's
are
fair.
damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah, you want to see stars when you shoot things.
Well, you want
Give me
them to see
5
stars
stars
at
on
least.
Yelp after I shoot him.
Howitzer says he's
Well, I
probably
got the
from
five stars.
Milwaukee.
All right.
Fair enough.
So in
Maybe.
addition to our
Maybe.
crew, we've got a bunch of new sidearms and 1 piece of crew gear. So we'll put the gear up here, and let's see. We'll do the grenades, and that one just looks nasty.
I mean, they're not bundles of flowers. It's not called car, drive up, say hi, maybe beep the horn,
it's
and drive
true.
off.
It's not car hugs.
It's not car
course.
hugs. All right, so first up, we have
That's
the
fun
fire
fire.
suit.
Nice.
One cost gear. So again, whenever you buy gear or sidearms, both your crew gets one. At the start of your
Yep.
managed fire step, roll 1 yellow die for each of your surviving crew members. If any shield results are rolled, you may either take 1 control or extinguish 1 fire for free. So it's one of those ones that if you're on fire, it's useful, but it is still useful even if you're not by getting an extra control for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We made this one for Jimmie, basically. This is Jimmie's fire suit.
Hey,
And I
Just
don't know
because-
of anybody else on
Already
stream
is.
who has died to fire more often.
just
Yeah, I usually blow
because
up.
my crew burned to death because I couldn't slow down, wouldn't slow
Yep.
down.
Oh yeah, they're the ones in control of it. Definitely not you. That's how card games
Exactly.
or
Exactly.
tabletop games work.
Next up, gotta wait because we only have one copy. There we go. Electrostatic grenade. So this is a red, a blue, and a black with a range 2 side arc, fires as a sidearm. Wrench does shock, which is our new symbol. Sorry, wrench does overload, right? Target places 1
Yeah, that's
overload
overload.
card in their crew area if they do not currently have one. Otherwise, wrench equals damage. So an overload card, we'll drop it right here.
Ooh. Shocking.
It is a status for the crew. Only 1 copy may be in your crew area at any given time. The next time you make a maneuver, add 1 white die to your driving roll, then return this to the supply.
Yeah,
That's
this
pretty
is
nasty.
this is a very nasty card to have because it means even at safe speeds with low maneuvers, you
You're
still have the
adding that
possibility
dreaded-
of 2 wrenches or 2 shields.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're adding that nasty, nasty white die that you only normally get with D4 turn to whatever the next roll is.
Yep.
That's a nasty status. I like it.
Yeah. No, that's brutal. Even if you're making gentle turns.
All right. Next up, we have the fragmentation grenade, which is just 2 blue, 2 black, and wrench does tire damage. So just dropping some damage onto the tires there. And then the one I said looked nasty because it's called the juicer.
You know,
It's a sidearm. It's a
juices
range.
things.
It's a range 1. And it just looks like it has a rotating ball of spikes on the end of it.
Yeah. That. When it was left to the imagination, it wasn't much better. Now that I get to see what the juicer actually looks like, that's not. It's like
Yeah.
a pizza cutter from hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
You pull
Awful.
that trigger, it spins up real fast. You touch things with it. They don't enjoy
Juice
it.
them. Yeah. Yep. All right, that is a range 1, one guaranteed damage. I can see why, and 2
Yeah.
yellow dice.
Don't let someone juice your car.
Also, if you notice that one's damage spike is a 5, which is pretty good for
For
a
a sidearm,
sidearm.
yeah.
For a sidearm, yeah,
That's
it's really good.
substantial.
Yeah.
And
And there's a lot of stars on those yellows in general, so its average is pretty good too.
all right,
But
then
that's
we
why
have
it's-
2 more sidearms. Freshly squeezed auto duelist. Yep. Yep.
Uh,
Ew.
grab the weapons locker too, Jimmie, to show it
Okay.
off with these sidearms.
Got it.
These 2 are the weird ones.
I forgot about the toaster. Yeah.
The double shot is the weakest sidearm in the game, but it
With 1 black
shoots
and 1
2
green.
bullets. Every time you fire it, you shoot it twice.
Oh, interesting.
So if your opponent is out of control, that's 2
Wow.
shots with no defense dice, unless they have structures and stuff. If they have no armor or structure on a side, that's 2 internal damage cards. So it might not look like a lot because it's not punching super hard. Its maximum damage is a 3, but if you really need to hunt for the if their driver has 1 hit point left, this gives you 2 chances to draw the crew or results on those damage cards. So it's a very
that doesn't
interesting
take up
late
your-
game.
And that doesn't take up
Yeah.
your other crew action, right? It's just 1 action fires that one twice.
Yeah, it has 2 triggers and 2 bullets, and you fire it. So when attacking with this sidearm, you make 2 separate attacks. So if both your crew members shoot this thing, it's
I was about to say.
it's 4 attacks coming at somebody, which is a really good way to fish for the damage cards you want.
Yeah.
Or
So
if
late
you have
game,
the
it
crew
becomes
member that
real
adds,
powerful.
or if you have the crew member that adds 1 blue to everybody's attack.
Yep.
Or if you
yeah.
have the, if you're at close range and you have the holographic sight, and the crew member that adds something to everybody's attack, and this, and you can.
Yeah, there's ways to pay to pump it up, but even at its baseline, it's just throwing lots of bullets at something.
Good finisher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
well,
a great
especially
finish.
when a lot of the scenarios, you're going for points, and every time you score internal damage, you get points. That's 2 points in a shot, basically.
You know, I didn't even think about that. That's that's dirty. Ooh.
Yep. It's a real weird little weak gun that has a bunch of fun uses.
Yeah.
And then next to it, we've got the toaster. It's just 2 yellow dice, range 1. When attacking with this, add 1 wrench. And wrenches cause a fire.
You don't roll wrenches. You don't roll wrenches on this. You just get a wrench.
Just get a wrench and it's fire.
It will always light someone on fire / do that damage if they're already on fire. So its max damage is also 5 because its dice are not the only source of damage it can do.
Yep. And
you got to get real close. You got to pull up Grey Poupon range from somebody. But when you hit them with it lights them on fire.
And then we have the weapons locker, which is an upgrade for your vehicle. It costs 1 crew point and 1 build point. And when constructing your car, you equip 3 1 crew point sidearms at no additional cost. So you can bring extra grenades or sidearms or the juicer along with you and have options.
Yeah, if you can't decide which sidearm you like the best, all sidearms cost 1 point generally. This is buying a sidearm and a 1 point thing on your car and getting 3 sidearms out of it. So if you really want to have that Swiss Army knife of sidearms, this is the card that will do that for you.
Okay.
And there are sidearms that are range 1, 2, and infinite. So if you want to have a sidearm for every range increment you could face, like if you really want the toaster but you don't want to have to be always within range 1 of somebody, then grab one of the like assault rifle style things that don't have a limited range, and then you've always got an upgraded sidearm all the time.
Kill streak, the toaster, and then a grenade, and you're set.
Yeah. Bring that shot grenade or the paint grenade or something. And
it would also let you bring both grenades if you want to apply both statuses to somebody and really ruin their day.
Brandon, toast and juice combo.
Yeah. You know, it's a balanced breakfast.
Breakfast of champions.
Very food themed pack, this third one.
We're not all the way there yet because we'll get that grilled cheese eventually.
Oh yeah, the grilled cheese.
Yeah, grilled cheese.
We gotta stop this. I haven't had lunch yet.
That's not a sidearm?
It is not a sidearm.
Darn.
No, you don't. You don't throw grilled cheeses at other people.
You don't waste food in the American Auto Dueling Association.
The grilled cheese dispenser.
The grilled cheese dispenser is the only accessory in this kit, in this set. That is a 0 cost accessory. And during the take control step, a fire starts on the arc where this is equipped. Ignore if it's already on fire. When one of your crew members would take damage, apply to this card first.
Is it actually dispensing the grilled cheese, or did somebody just stick it into the radio, and then as an excuse it's saying, no, it dispenses those. I just haven't taken one out yet, because it looks an awful lot like you jammed a sandwich into my radio.
If you look real close on those dials, one dial is labeled cheese. One dial is labeled toast, one's labeled butter, one's labeled wow, and there's a temp dial. So you can it's a cheese machine that just happens to look like a radio.
It just happens to light the cheese on fire as well.
I think I need one of those for my kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't know. The fire part's not optional.
Food coming out of the internals of my car. It's worrisome. I don't know.
Hey. It's fast food.
Yeah. Also, this card effectively says Now we like to play around with 0-point cards
It won't
because
let me leave.
because you don't have to pay anything points wise. There's just a bonus you can stick on your car to do a weird effect. Like the armored beer fridge in the core set it's harder to drive, but it protects your crew members. This is the
Right.
kind of same thing in that it's going to cost you control to put out that fire every turn if you choose to do that. If not, this thing's just lighting fire, burning fingers as people are trying to drive, but it's an accessory so it can protect other accessories from damage cards, right? If you have your targeting
Sure.
computer or whatever on the back of your car, this accessory can take that accessory damage first, and it can apply crew damage to itself instead of your crew. So it effectively gives you 2 extra crew hit points. And there's the armored vest, which its name I forget. That also gives +1 damage to your
Oh,
crew. So there's
The flak
it's a way to
jackets.
get
Blackjack.
yeah, it's a way to get your crew a lot of health, but you're gonna have to pay the extra control to cook those sandwiches. If not, you're gonna light yourself on fire.
Because you have nothing better going on right now.
Yeah, it's like dropping a hot coffee in your lap while you're trying to drive down the highway. It's not a thing you want to do, but people still do it because they really want that coffee.
I really want to
Alright.
know what's next.
Next up, we're going into the weapons. So we've got our 2-point weapons here. So let me sort them so I have them in the right order back here. So first up, we've got the Whistler. 2 points. It's a sonic weapon, so our first sonic weapon. Does 2 green dice, and on a wrench does an extra damage. Each time the defender pays 1 or more tokens for a defense reroll when attacked with this weapon, they have to pay an additional ace token.
So that's going to be the sonic rule, just like lasers all have the extended range rule. So this thing is the anti-ace tokens weapon.
Mm.
Sonic
you are-
weapons are. So yeah, if you
Yes.
spend any tokens on to reroll, you have to spend an extra token.
Yeah.
An extra ace token.
Which is cool because it kind of gives you like another way to attack people's resources directly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't hit as hard as other weapons of their cost, but they are harder to defend against. So
And
that's
this
the
one can
trade-off
still
you're
max
doing.
out at 4.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the Whistler and our first look at Sonics. Interesting. Now, I was expecting grilled cheeses in the lore of the Car Wars Classic, but they're more of a drop weapon that threw your opponent out of control. Yeah, no, this one's different. It's extra dice
Yeah.
for each roll. Anytime the defenders pays tokens for a defense reroll, then yes, they pay an additional token for each time they do it. Each time the defender pays 1 or more tokens. When you're being attacked
This
by
is
this weapon.
also it's also written for future proofing in case we ever put in a driver that spends control tokens for defense
Right.
rerolls or whatever.
Yep.
It's written this way just in case to cover
Yeah.
all of our bases. It always costs an additional ace no matter what you're paying for your defense reroll. Just in case there's a way to pay with any other tokens you might ever have.
Yep. Next up, we've got the Joy Buzzer, which is a shock weapon.
The Joy
And
Buzz
this
is a little
one-
tiny shock weapon.
Yep. It's a 2-pointer, 1 green, 1 black. Wrenches do an extra damage. If you roll 2 wrenches, this takes 1 damage after the attack is resolved. So very common. It's the standard shock weapon rules. If you roll 2 wrenches on it, then it's going to damage itself some.
Yeah, there just wasn't previously a 2-point shock weapon. The lowest point shock weapon was a 3 up until now. So if you really like that shock weapon build, then you can get a little bit of it or spread it around a little bit more easily on your car. And there's a shock gunner in here, right? So
Yep.
there's a crew member that cares about firing shock weapons. So we made sure there was a new shock weapon in this set in case this is the only set you own. You're going to have a way for that gunner to do something when you put them on your car.
Even in those lower divisions.
Howitzer Explosion guy says each die roll, so 3 ace for 3 rerolls means 3 more ace tokens. So you really have to decide. You really have to do the math before deciding to reroll multiple dice at once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, because
It very
you're still
quickly becomes
paying.
I'll just take the damage.
Yeah. So if you
'Cause
paid,
in the rules, you're still paying 1 token to reroll 1 die. It's just
Yeah.
people often, if they roll really bad and they have a bunch of yellows, they grab 3 yellows and pay 3 dice. I mean, 3 tokens to reroll them. But you're still, rules-wise, you're paying for each
3.
individual reroll and making it each individual reroll.
Right. So you can't save by doing it all at once and only pay 1 extra. That's
Yeah.
not how it
Yeah,
works.
don't work that way. That's a
Yeah.
shortcut.
Yeah.
That's not the rules.
All right, next up we have the electrostatic beam, another 2-point shock weapon. 2 black dice, but on the wrenches we have the overload again. So the overload card, you place an overload card in their crew area if they don't currently have one. Otherwise, wrench equals damage, and that is a 2/3 chance that they're gonna do a wrench. A 4 and 6 for a wrench, a 1 and 6 for a damage. So that is much like the
both dice.
on both dice,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is much like the 2-point light machine guns for doing tire damage. You are almost certainly going to do 2 points of specific type of damage to them.
And this is the reach out and overload someone, right? The electrostatic grenade hits harder, but it's range 2.
Yeah.
This is the I want to put overload on someone across the
Over
arena.
there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to probably damage them very much at all with this shot because, right, if they're not overloaded and you roll 2 wrenches, you do 1 damage and overload them. But that overload is a very powerful effect. So the option of putting it on somebody really far away from you is powerful.
Yep. Yeah. And then lastly, another 2-pointer, we have the armored recoilless rifle. So cost 2, 1 guaranteed damage, 1 green, 1 blue. Just a low point slug weapon that takes 3 points of damage to take it out instead of 2.
Yeah.
That's just a little trigger to peel it off of your car, which can matter sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, if
we
you're especially
explored-
at low point cost builds, like having that extra point for that weapon means it'll do its job longer.
Those low division weapons don't last long in a protracted firefight. So
Yeah, there's a little bit of armored stuff in the previous expansion, so we explored that a little bit more in these new cards of just giving you a couple of other armored weapon types that didn't have armored weapon types before.
Yeah, which is nice because you often don't have a lot of point budget to buy many weapons at low cost. So once they go, you're down to sidearms. All right, so those are our 2 pointers.
ramming, if that's your thing.
As long as you have a
And,
car, you can hit something with it.
Yeah,
It's always
your
an
car
option.
is always a weapon
Mhm.
at all times,
3-pointer. That's a lot of dice for a 3-pointer.
whether you want it to be or not. So, but yeah, it's
All
better
right,
to shoot.
our 3-point weapon lineup. We first have the incendiary rocket, a 3-point fire rocket. Does 1 damage, 1 yellow, 2 green. Wrenches, set you on fire. It's a 1-shot, and it does not have the normal rocket rule of some lighter rockets where you get 2 for the cost of 1.
Yeah, rockets that do something other than explosion are not usually BOGOs.
Yeah.
Because you're paying for the chance to light someone on fire and you're getting the additional damage spike because of the one-shotness.
Yeah, it's don't. Is there any other like flame sending thing that goes beyond range 2? Because I can't think of any.
There's
Lasers.
the
Oh, the lasers. The lasers are like not likely to light you on fire.
Yeah,
whereas this is
true.
way more likely to light you on fire on the
Yeah.
other side of the arena, which is very unusual.
incendiary machine gun bullets exist.
Oh, okay.
But that's only got one red die in it, so its chance is just like a laser. Whereas this thing has 2 greens.
2 green dice.
So
yeah.
it's got a
Yeah.
much better chance. And those yellows and greens have double results on them for damage, right?
Totally.
So they're if you sometimes you don't want to roll the wrench, you want to roll the double stars because you're trying to hit someone really hard. But if you don't get the doubles, you still sometimes get the wrenches to light the person on fire.
Yep. Next up, we have the armored disruptor, a 3-point shock weapon. 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 green, 1 blue. Wrenches do damage, and if you roll, then it's got the shock disadvantage. If you roll 2 wrenches, this takes 1 after the attack. But it's armored, so it takes can take 4 damage before it goes away.
Yep, it's a little bit beefier than a shock weapon.
Yep. And that's a lot of dice for a 3-coster.
Yeah, but
Speaking of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
but always keep in mind we're talking about the averages, right? Because a bunch of black dice are way different than a bunch of yellow dice or a bunch of white dice.
Yep. All right, next up we've got the Armored Firebolt, which is a 3-coster for 3 reds and 4 blues. Wrenches do fire damage. Range 2, so it's limited range, but can take 3 hits. That can be a chunk of damage.
It can be a chunk of damage, but keep in mind all of those dice are 50-50 misses.
That's true.
They all the reds and blues have 3 shields. So that's a lot of chances to roll all shields in that roll.
Now, rolling 7 shields is a bummer, and I can see myself doing it.
Yeah, 7 shields is the edge of the bell curve, Jimmy. But if anybody can do
I'll find it.
Yeah.
But rolling 7 damage though.
Extreme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the other end. I won't find that end. It's way over that hill in the middle. I can't see it. And last up, we have Old Yeller, a 3-point sonic weapon. 1 yellow, 1 blue, 2 black. Wrenches do extra damage. And then it has the sonic effect of each time the defender pays 1 or more tokens for a defense reroll when attacked with this weapon, they must pay an additional ace token. But it is fragile. It has only got 1 point of damage that it can take.
Yeah, the sonic weapons are all pretty fragile. They're kind of like lasers in that capacity. We wanted to make sure that they weren't just running the entire game, right? It wasn't always, every time I try to reroll, I have to burn a bunch of aces. So they can get shut off pretty easy. But the theory is they're very impactful. So that's the drawback from them.
It's a flavor when it makes sense. These are the sorts of weapons that are going to have delicate, precise machinery to do their goofy shit.
All right, and then the final 3 are our big guns. Our 5-pointer, which is the biggest thing you can put on a 24-pointer under
There was
build.
one called Big Whoop.
Big whoop.
You have the Howler first up. All 3 of these are the Sonics. The Howler, 1 red, 1 yellow, 2 blue, 2 black. Wrenches do extra damage. Costs 5, can only take 1 hit, and has the reroll penalty die on there. That's a lot. And then the Big Whoop is a 6-point for 2 red, 3 blue, 1 black, 1 white. And the Banshee is 2 red, 1 yellow, 2 blue, 1 black, 1 white for 7 points.
Sweet base cannon.
Yeah, naming the sonic weapons was a lot of fun. Me and Randy and Sam sat around and were like, does Old Yeller sound more or less powerful than Big Whoop? Yeah. That's the kind of heady conversations we have in development sometimes.
It's why you need a line editor.
Yep.
All right, those are the cards from Sonic Strike.
Heck yeah.
So that is our 3-pack. Or misline that. Those are our 3 packs for the first 3 single-player expansions. So again, these are expansions for 1 player's worth of cards in each one of them. So if you want to have enough that you could have 2 players take it, you want 2 of the sets. The Sonic Strike and Aggressive Arsenal are $10.95. These Tailgate Trouble is $12.95 because it has those extra token sheets in there. And again, you don't necessarily need 4 of these for a 4-player game or anything like that. It's just about how much you want to have available at the table.
Not everyone's brave enough to take the slab. Not everyone has the moxie, the gusto to handle the slab. But if you do, if you're worthy.
And these are all available for pre-order now. And the warehouse should be getting them soon to start sending them out. And then make this nice fancy little picture to put them all together.
Available for pre-order over at warehouse23.com, I presume.
If you just came in midway through, Aggressive Arsenal and Tailgate Trouble are reprinting cards from existing sets, Drop Weapon set, Miniature Set 1, and a couple of the playmat sets. Sonic Strike is all new cards. They have not appeared before in the game. Does SJGames have a preference whether I pre-order these versus just order them after they come out? No. We've already.
It's up to you.
This isn't a Kickstarter or something where we're determining how many to print. These are printed. They are just available for sale now, and we'll start shipping them as soon as they get in.
Yeah, they'll be in stores very, very quickly.
You know,
Great to hear
always
some in-house
encourage
reactions,
folks to
some-
support their LGSs.
Yeah.
Great Mambo Chicken says,
But-
thanks for the talk through. Great to hear so much in-house reactions and some of the design process. Big whoop. Yep.
Big whoop.
Big whoop.
Big whoop.
Whoop, whoop. I love those drivers so much. I
It's
just,
like, yeah, the new crew, I really like the designs
I
of the
mean,
new
very
crew.
happy.
They were fun. And I like the
And-
Sonic.
And we'll have more crew to make weird jokes about when we talk about Gonzo Gear in a month or so.
Yeah, we're talking about that after Halloween, most likely.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to do the opening of those till we got a few more things to talk about. Like next week, we will be talking about Hack and Slash Deluxe. I'm probably going to play through that and talk about that with Randy and a couple people in the office here. And after that, I don't know what we're doing the week after that yet. Haven't planned that far ahead. But thank you for everybody coming out for this. Thank you to Fox and Will for joining in to give us reactions and some insight behind where some of these came from. I'm excited about these. I liked Drop Weapons already. I like Sonic stuff. I like the new crew options, and I'm excited about some of the accessories in there and sidearms.
the new drop
Those
weapon
are-
rules especially feel really good. Having gotten a chance to play around with
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They need a
know
little
that
something, and this is just enough.
I know there were already groups that had adopted that based on the companion book having that option in there. So that was one of the things I was looking forward to in these reprint expansions, to get that rule out there.
Yeah.
In a slightly more official way for any of those players that are like, I only play with the published official rules, not the house rule options. Although the house rule options are just as valid as every other rule that everyone has ever written. So
No, don't break kayfabe.
But I like those. I like a lot of the new sidearms. I'm going to be using some of those, and I'll probably use the sidearm locker more than I should, or the weapons locker more than I should, just to have those
It's-
options available.
It looks fun.
if you have a bonus regular build point that you don't know what to do with,
Yeah.
the weapons locker is just like buying a single sidearm, but you get more sidearms. So you just got to pay that one regular build point. So in a small game, if you've only got 8 or something build points, it's a little iffier. But if you've got 16 or whatever build points, then it's just a little tiny sacrifice to get a lot of options when you're
Especially if you
sidearms.
end up with like a really odd number at the end. Like,
Yep.
what do I do with
Yeah.
this one build point that's left over because I have a weird janky build? Like,
Mhm.
it's been a year.
And in the past, that might be okay. Buy the stability controller to get a crew point to buy one more
Yep.
sidearm. But now,
Yeah, but stability controller still lets you buy more sidearms if
it
the
does.
weapons
You can
locker
still
doesn't
you can
give
still-
you enough.
buy even more sidearms.
Yep.
All sidearm build.
Sure.
All right, I think we're about our time. We've run a little bit long today, but we had a lot of stuff to go through. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We will be back here next week at 2 p.m. Central to go do some Hack and Slash Deluxe. If you want, we've got a Discord. You can hop on over there, talk about all of our stuff. We've got channels for Car Wars, GURPS, Munchkin, all of our stuff in there. Come hang out and talk about the new stuff with us in there and other fans. And other than that, we will see you all next week on SJ Games Live. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.